I like to say from constraints come creativity. When I said, okay, it's time to launch a fund at Berkeley SkyDeck, I went to the campus leadership and I said, can we launch a venture fund to invest in the startups? And they said, unfortunately not. We're a public university. That's not something that we can do. So I said, okay, fine. I'll go find someone to launch a dedicated venture fund and invest in all of our startups. I found a fund manager and I said, hey, Sean, I want you to launch a dedicated venture fund, invest in all of our startups, and give us half the carry, right, which is the fund manager profit. Fortunately, he said yes. and so a great relationship was born. And so the way we invest in the startups is that the Berkeley SkyDeck Fund, which is like any other venture capital fund, invests in the startups that we select. And then when there's carry, that will be donated back to Berkeley.
One of my biggest mentors is actually my grandfather. And this is what always helps me just keep on working. You know, he helped raise me, him and my grandmother. He came to this country with 10 cents, slept in farm to farm on haystacks, picking cherries every day. While my grandmother was pregnant, she would just eat as many cherries as she could so she could live and survive. When he was a young man, like 12, 13, he used to wake up before the pigs would wake up so he could eat out of the pig trough, the corn, because so many kids in his neighborhood died of starvation. Growing up, me and him used to look for pennies on the street, literally just for fun. So when I think about it, oh my God, I'm going through a hard time, going through a difficult time. I think back to my grandfather. What would he do? You know, this guy came here and slept in hay barrels, haystacks, you know, and ended up making it here in this country.
In order to change the game, in order for us to have those bigger funds, write those bigger checks, support these wonderful, incredible founders in our ecosystem, I personally believe we need to be the check writers.
That's right.
And for us to have an inclusive industry, it's not about saying, oh, well, it just doesn't work. For me, this is the industry, in my opinion, where in my lifetime I can make the most impact, make the most money, change the most lives. When I signed the docs for Ghana's Ventures, I know I'm signing my life for 10 years. You have the fiduciary duty of creating more capital, creating more value for your investors. And because we know this, I really wanted to take the opportunity to build a VC fund that I wish existed when I started. One where the LPs, the people that we're taking our money from, are representative of our community, because people don't talk about this as much, but the investors in the funds typically are also 90% white male. And so for me, I believe that if we bring a more diversified LP community of founders, all of this, if we build this ecosystem together.
When people like me start small, writing those checks, bigger vision of writing a bigger check, but also making sure that we are connecting with other women who are also writing checks. Down the road, we believe this will show also those with gender lens bias to realize they're missing out, which is true, actually, they're missing out, but they don't know. So one of my offering to demonstrate to other capital allocators that actually they're missing out by not investing in women, because the research show when you give $1 to a woman, they give you at least $2.5 back. In the context of Africa, women reinvest 90% of their revenue in the sector that benefit the society and the community, comparing it to 40% for men. So if you are an impact-driven investor, we know a lot of investors say I'm impact, but sometimes when you dig deeper, you don't really see the difference. If you truly want to have an impact, the best bet is really to back a woman, because they will give you back your money, they will multiply your money, they give you profit, and then contribute to people on the planet.
We do three things. So the first one is we look after your credibility and your online social proof. Because if someone doesn't trust you, if you're not the authority, then they're going to look to competitors. They're going to look to somebody else. So the first thing is we get credibility out there to show that you are the authority. Now, the second step is awareness, because you could be featured in Forbes, but if no one knows who you are, then that doesn't do anything. So awareness comes in, and we do this via two things. One is LinkedIn to leads, which is a really fun, increasing your LinkedIn reach. And then the second is also increasing your subscribers on YouTube. So you're really getting into the SEO Google benefit search. And by doing those two different things, you're ticking off the boxes that's going to allow somebody to trust you, and it's going to allow awareness. So when you get that visibility, people want to work with you because they see you as the trusted authority.
I think that that's something that a lot of people are hesitant to say, I don't know how to do this. Can I ask for help? We don't want to show our cards and say that we don't know how to do something. But in fact, I think people really respect that when I would reach out to people and be very specific about things that I really loved that they were doing. It wasn't just a blank email that I was sending out to 100 people. It was a very specific email or connection point, and say, I love this A, B, and C thing that you're doing. I'm a new, documentary filmmaker. And do you have 5 or 10 minutes to chat with me on the phone or Zoom or whatever? And I know that I get those calls now, and I am very happy to give back. I mean, I think that people, when they can feel your sincerity and they know what you're looking for, and they know that you really have looked at what they're doing, and you're passionate about what you are doing, they're happy to help.